YouTube, which we're live right now on YouTube. Subscribe. If you're watching this video right now and you're ready to hear us talk about Andor and The Last of Us and a little Duster, the best thing you can do is what, Ando?
Subscribe to this page.
Subscribe to our YouTube. I told Solo I'd sing a song for him. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a
He's
subscribe to YouTube song.
That's gonna blow him away.
When you subscribe to DVR Podcast on YouTube, you too can be entertained by Solo and Ando and Foley too. Maybe even Brett, we're around the couch. Uh, uh, uh,
I
uh,
hope Solo's
uh.
not driving his vehicle right now because he probably just drove it right into the median after listening to it. Got so excited from that song. So,
Oh, I thought it was because my voice was so wonderful that he was almost like lifted off the ground like an angel
well,
up into haven.
that's a regular afternoon for Solo, though, really.
Oh, it's an afternoon delight, is what it
Yeah,
is, Ando.
well, first that's what this podcast is gonna be.
Yeah. This is our little YouTube chatter at it. Oh, hey, I was going to ask you, Ando, if you get a chance, can you cut out the chat of the podcast I did on Friday? I tried to do it on YouTube Studio. You can actually just edit it and move it up to like have it start at like the 7 minute mark with my talk with Aaron Brennan, because I think we jabbed a little bit too long and he's sending it to a lot of colleagues and stuff.
Hmm.
I couldn't get it to work. I don't know why. It was so
To
slow
get
on
the
my
chat, I
computer.
don't understand. To get the chat, what do you
So
mean?
you open up YouTube Studio, you
Yeah.
actually edit the video. Before
Okay.
we started the podcast, we talked for like 7 minutes
Yep.
about goobly goo.
Yeah.
If you can edit that, because you have a better computer, my
Yeah.
computer can't load it. Just have the YouTube video start at like
Oh,
7.
start at the. I
Yes,
gotcha.
when
Now
I
I
start
gotcha.
the podcast, when I'm
Yep.
like, welcome everyone.
Gotcha.
So
Yep.
anyway, which is what we're probably going to do now because we're ready to talk about all this shit, right?
Yeah. Well,
All right.
we got our 20-minute pre-show done already, so now we
Yeah,
can
that's true.
actually do our regular
That's
pre-shows
true.
done. Now we can start.
Is Grandpa James watching, or I think it's just me that's watching right now?
Well, I'm watching. It just says one viewer.
I know, me too. So that should be two. What up, YouTube? Why are you trying to take one viewer away? And we're both subscribers too. So
Yeah.
subscribe.
Come on, YouTube. Subscribe, everyone.
Everybody subscribe. All right, here we go. I'm going to start the podcast. Welcome back, everyone, to Daily DVR. It's Monday. My name is Axel. We're live on YouTube. And if you're listening to this, you should subscribe to us on YouTube. If you are a podcast listener, even if you don't go and watch us on YouTube, do us a solid, homie. Please go over to YouTube and hit subscribe. We need like 500 subscribers. Then we could be making that cool ass YouTube ducats, getting all that money in our pockets. I can't wait. Subscribe on YouTube. Today we're here to talk about Andor. We're up to date, full spoilers up to episode 9 of season 2 of Andor. Full spoilers up to episode 5 of season 2 of The Last of Us. And we're also going to do a little preview for Duster, but maybe that might be on a different podcast. But if you were live on YouTube, you'd know that already because we said it before we started the podcast, dvrpodcast.com. We love you. Ando, how you doing?
Fantastic. It's a
Woo.
nice sunny day here in southern Minnesota. Can't really complain. I'm talking to a friend, and we're gonna talk about some movies and TV. So I'm looking forward to it.
Ando, why did you just get me all emotional right now, man? Now I'm just like, I'm nostalgic.
I like getting you on your feels. What can I say?
Oh God, I can't do the podcast anymore. I got to take like a 15-minute break and cry or something. Go hug my dog.
Well, let you do that. I'll take a quick nap, and then we'll start it back up in 20 minutes.
All right, let's do it. I like it. It is rainy here, which I love because I don't like it when it's sunny. I think I'm in where am I in Central Oregon? I guess Portland is Central Oregon,
Yeah,
right?
North Central maybe.
I don't know. Do you know I've lived here for 10 years? I don't know anything. It's just like when I lived in North Carolina for 10 years. I don't even remember which street names were. All I remember is New Jersey, Andy. That's all I
I
remember. I don't know why.
well, because that's where you spent your formative years.
Yeah, that's true. That is my
Yeah,
formative
actually,
years.
yeah, I would. I'm looking at a map. I would call it northern Oregon,
North. Okay. All right. Okay. Oregon. I dig it.
northwestern Oregon. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Enough for the geography lessons. I'll leave it to my wife. That's her
Oh,
job.
oh, okay. All right then. All right. Yeah, I'm not too good at geography. One time I was hanging out in Washington, D.C., and I said to my friend, "Hey, let's go visit our other friend Jeremy." And it was like, "Jeremy lives in Massachusetts, dude. That's like the other way on top of New Jersey." And
Yes.
I said, "Oh shit, I forgot. I just thought they were both involved in the Revolutionary
You could,
War."
yeah, you could stop at your house on the way there and sleep overnight before you got to Massachusetts.
And DC didn't exist pre-Revolutionary War, did it? It didn't really exist. They
No.
built the city
Yeah.
on a swamp after so I was wrong about fucking everything about that. My history
Maybe
is
you need
wrong.
to have my wife on a podcast and she can just inform you about history and where things are in the world.
I don't know if I want to know, Ando, and that's that brings us to a show which is really hitting me in many ways, which is Andor, and this show is now cooking with gas. I thought the first three episodes were very good, but definitely a little slower, still more character stuff. We're trying to figure out what happens.
Yeah, I
And
think
yeah,
we talked about this after I had seen the first three and you'd only seen the first one or two. I think it was the
okay.
last time we talked about Andor a couple weeks ago. So
And we're totally both up to date. We've seen 9 episodes, three separate pods. This second pod I thought was a lot more action. It kept it moving more. And then the third, it's just getting progressively more exciting as we move on. And we had this whole Gorman thing
ugh,
that happened,
yes.
and the Gorman massacre and the songs, and with what's going on in our country today and in our world, to see this, which is a reflection in many ways, I felt like it was speaking to the French resistance of the
Oh, yeah,
Nazis.
for sure. Because I mean, even the Gormans, I mean, they even it sounds like French, the language they're speaking. It's not
Yeah,
French, but it's almost a French accent. And like I said, I when watching this with my wife, who I had said is a history teacher, and even she's like, this is like French Revolution stuff, and this is also tied in with the Nazis, and that
yeah.
same thing
French
exactly. It's
resistance. Yeah,
yes, 100%.
which which was very which was a huge part of World War II. And in America, a lot of people who don't know anything like to make fun of the French, or they gave up, or they're quitters, or whatever. There was an idea behind that, and it was the idea to let them in and then root them out.
Hmm.
For some respects, also the Nazis had overwhelming
Yeah,
firepower.
they just had too. They were too big and
Yeah,
powerful,
I mean, people are fucking crazy. Trust me,
just like the
folks.
just like the Empire is in
Yeah.
Star Wars. So
If Let me tell you something. If Germany was in Canada, we'd be doing a very different podcast right now, my friends.
yeah,
Okay? They're
we may not be
there.
doing we
Yeah.
may not be doing a
They
podcast
would
if
have
that was the case.
blitzkrieged right through from
Yep.
Detroit all the way
And you
down.
know
You know what
what?
I'm
You and
saying?
I, you and I in the northern portions of the country, we would have been in deep shit.
Yeah. There
It was,
were remember they're like off the coast of New Jersey. There were like Nazi subs and shit like
hmm
that. Um Anyway, I was going to tell the story of my friend's mom, whose dad was an Argentinian Nazi, but I won't go into that. That was a different story. But what a moving bunch of episodes. The claustrophobia of the
Man,
massacre.
that episode 8 was that's what I've said this a few times. There's some of the best Star Wars things ever have happened on this series, and that was one of that whole episode was just the only thing I can or the thing that really made me compare it to, especially with the music and the sound effects. And Solo and I talked about this movie on a film list a while back. It's like the first 15 minutes of Gangs of New York, where there's this the band is playing this music and it's just driving and propulsive, and it's like a teapot ready to boil and burst over.
Yeah.
And then when it does, all hell breaks loose, except for instead of it being 15 minutes in that movie, this was like 45 minutes or 50 in that whole episode. I thought it was unbelievable. It was just like it actually put the wars in Star Wars, which normally doesn't happen. There really isn't that many war battles that really happen. I mean, there's battles, but not like what we would feel like a war in
Yeah.
our planet. This felt
That's
like a
why
Saving Private Ryan kind of thing, not a
it
laser battle.
totally, Ando. And it felt, what it felt like was real, man. That
Hmm.
feeling, I've been to a few protests in my time. I was at, I think it's still considered the largest protest in American history in New York against um, America invading Iraq
Hmm.
in the early 2000s. Um, I guess that was Jesus, George Bush years. I still have video of that. When I was behind a camera, I was fucking fearless. It not and it got me in trouble sometimes, but this time it didn't. But I had one of the best shots I ever took in my life. It's still on YouTube, actually. Mike, my old buddy, did an edit of it where I walked down about 100 cops were lined up with their shields and their batons
Oh,
and standing and I just walked up to them and I went sideways like an inch from their face all the way down.
I'm sure that camera gives you like almost like an invincibility feeling, doesn't it? And when you have the
Yeah.
camera on you,
Well, what are they gonna
because
fucking do?
that's what I know. Because like you'd never try that without the camera, right?
Dude, that would have
Yeah,
been
that's
national news.
yeah,
If a
uh-huh,
kid with a camera
yeah. It's
at that, well, I wasn't a kid, I was like 25 or something. Like if I'd gotten hit with a, but I would have been national news. They'd still be
hmm
pictures of me ever. They were, and plus, by the way, as I was taking it, I was saying to him, "Hey guys, hope you guys, man, it must be hot in those suits." You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't yelling at them. It was a
yeah,
shot. You know what I mean? And then I turned around and I
yeah,
did the same
uh-huh,
thing with the protesters, right? Like I was
uh-huh,
taking the shot. But that's what it reminded me of you're trying to communicate with someone. Hey, can you hear me? You hear a rumor. I
yeah,
hear that the square is open. They right? And then we see all the plotting that's been going on both sides from the Empire, the Resistance, um, Andor himself, right? His crew. Everything that has been going on for these even more than 3 episodes when we first started hearing of Gorman, right?
yeah,
Um, and the Gorman people
hmm
kind of comes together and we see what she meant when she was like, you have to get this resistance, like how they were using them and they let them get the weapons and they let them,
oh
it's
yeah,
so,
and even the Empire having their own sniper take out one of their own guys to instigate the fighting and just
which
it was oh man, it was so good.
by the way, there's a that to me, see, I that part I really liked because there was this thing that happened in American history that started a kind of may have been a part of the start of the Revolutionary War for our own country, where it's long been suspected that that's what happened. That we let publicly took out one of our people and started shit, right? The Boston Massacre, where that
Hmm.
was actually started by the colonists and then propagandized into a massacre. So it was the other way around, right?
Hmm.
They took advantage of young English soldiers who were scared and alone and outnumbered, and then it became something different. And I don't need to get into a whole history thing, but you can go into whole other
Yeah,
countries too, right? Like
yeah,
where on both sides that's happened. Either the power structure has started the fighting or the other way around to kind of lure them into a massacre that would bring attention to what's happening,
yeah.
which is actually something that the vampire who likes who doesn't drink a lot of milk. Remember, he was the vampire in the Strain. The
Oh
Gorman
wow.
leader was the vampire in the Strain.
Oh,
right?
I knew I recognized him and I could
Yeah.
not place. Okay, I
Yeah,
did
I'm
not
trying to,
realize
you can
that's who
hear me
that
typing
was.
away.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wait, what's his name? I'm trying to look up because it's so hard to get cast with Andor. It's got such a big cast
Yeah.
from
Oh, what the heck is his?
oh
I,
shoot. Wait, what's it? Anyway,
I kept the whole time I've been like, who in the hell is? Where do I know him from? And
yeah.
that's what it is from. It's from the strain.
Yep.
I haven't thought
He's
about the
the
strain in a long time, but yes,
Yeah, that's him. Richard Sommel. He was Thomas Eichhorst in The Strain.
Eichhorst. That's it.
Yeah,
Eichhorst.
he's
Yep.
a really good actor, man. He's been in a
Yep.
ton of stuff. He was in Inglorious Bastards,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tons
very
and tons of stuff.
famously. I think he actually gets confused with who's the other dude from Christoph Waltz?
Christoph Waltz. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets
Yep.
confused with him a lot by people.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, he says that at one point, right? Like he said, like I think Andor says it's going to be a massacre or something, and he says it will burn bright, or right, like he makes reference
Yeah.
to that they know, right? Like that's what's the kind of genius of it too is he figures it out at the end, and he tries to stop everybody after even
Hmm.
after saying that. But then I
Yep.
think the other people they may figured out what was going on, but some of them just choose to keep fighting,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I don't and it's just everything. It's at least I'll just stay on that episode for now. There was other little things in that episode too that, like the scene with Cyril and Andor, and they're it's like it also reminded me a lot of Saving Private Ryan when you see can't think of which character it is, but you see the one soldier watch the other guy just get stabbed through the heart by the Nazi, and like just the brutality, hand to hand fighting, not just the shooting and everything too. The fight between Andor and Cyril, and it's like the who are you, and he doesn't even know who Cyril is, and you can see it just crushes him. And I thought the acting in this was also just so damn good. That episode,
Yeah,
that episode blew me away.
yeah. It was great, man. These three episodes were fantastic. I'm uh still not in love with the love story and even the way that episode 9 I'm glad that it ended with what's his name KSO9 or
K2SO.
K2SO, who I actually built a model of that robot a
That's
couple
I
years ago.
see there. I loved him in Rogue One. I see there's a giant buildable Lego one coming out this summer that if I see it on sale, I may have to snap it up.
Yeah, I like it. The model was very fun. I painted it actually. I painted it silver, and I
Hmm.
created like a silver one. I still have it somewhere in the old Lego room.
Yeah,
But I'm still not in love with the what's her name, Bix.
yeah. Bix is
You know,
it's fine. I don't. I mean, and I don't know if we'll see her again now that well, of course, we got another year to wait now, or a year in their timeline, so maybe we will see her again.
and
But
then we're getting to literally we're a year away from listen, man. This is the other thing. Okay, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say about
oh
Bix?
no, I was just kind of agreeing with you, and then I
Okay.
said we may not, because she did kind of leave, but like I said, with a year in between episodes here again, we maybe she'll come back again. I guess I don't know. I'm not crazy. I think that's the weakest part of the season is the storyline involving her and Andor, but
I understand it, of course, and I respect it. It's his personal life, and he's
yep.
our main character, right? And but the way in which they have, I hate to say it, but Disneyfied their relationship, like kind of gone back and forth. Are they lovers? Are they friends? Is that really his long lost sister? Is it like what? It's so ambiguous.
And
And
at the same time, like one of the major things with her was this year, like she actually said part of what I had alluded to last time we talked, because you hadn't watched episode 3 yet, is like she says the word rape, and like they actually bring that into the Star Wars
yeah,
universe when you, I mean, basically sexuality in Star Wars has never ever been a thing. I mean, it's like Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen kiss, and then all of a sudden she's 8 months pregnant.
yeah,
I mean,
I know.
that's like the extent of any type of
Wait
sexual
a
thing in
second.
Star Wars.
Wait,
So,
wait a second, Andy. I
or is
thought what
that?
happened was that a man and a woman get married, they say kiss the bride, and then a seed passes from the man's mouth into the woman, and then that's how a baby comes out. Isn't that what happens?
Oh, maybe that is. I missed
Wait,
that part in
what
science
is
class, I
sex?
think.
Sex? What is that?
And I don't know.
Oh, I hope that doesn't
Some ma
involve my wiener.
It's a made up word.
Anyway, it's I used to think that when I was a kid. The seed passes. Remember? Do you remember that? Were you ever told that story?
Yes.
Maybe that was a Catholic thing. I don't know.
It maybe was.
Um, anyway, I was happy that they actually had consensual good sex and made and they showed a bit of it, right? Like not too
Hmm.
much, but they showed a bit of it. Because there is a thing in television that once a woman has either had an attempted rape or been raped or some, she is in some, she's not worthy of the hero any longer or some, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she served like if that's the purpose of the character. So
Hmm.
I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a complex female character who also wants, does not want to tie him down with their love
Yeah.
and wants to let him go because the revolution is more important than him keep on.
And
The reason he keeps coming back is her.
and I don't even know why. Of course, she's going to be back. She has to because I think even a couple episodes ago, Luthen said something to Andor's like, "She's important. We're going to need her eventually," or
Yeah,
he said something like that. So of course she will. But I took my theorizing hat off there for a second when I was saying she might not be back. But and the other thing with it is this show. It may not, I'm gonna willing to wait on her character at least till the last three episodes because this show has been so damn good at planting things and laying the ground slowly that I still have a feeling that we might get a payoff with her character that will be feel worthwhile. But at least as of right now, it does seem a little lacking with her. But it's a minor complaint for me.
love the actress. Think she
Yes,
is really great.
yes, I totally agree.
Um, but I did my wife put the heat on? I think my wife just put the heat on, Ando, and
Oh
like
my
really
God.
clicking. I'm like, come on, it's like 65 degrees, and she just put the fucking. I'm annoyed now. That's perfect temperature for me. Anyway, no,
Good
love
thing
the
you have a little
actress.
campfire there in front of you. I can see some smoke
Yeah, I know.
wafting
I don't
off
know
on the
what's.
camera. So
I don't know what's going on there, Andy. It's something.
we're gonna sing
YouTube
"Kumbaya" at the
said
end of this pod. So
I I turned my camera off. YouTube, you can't stop me. Um, but yeah, it just hasn't worked as well as I wish that it would have worked. And maybe that's because I'm not used to it. Maybe upon like a rewatch or something like that, I will discover that I'm more into their relationship.
and
But I did like, oh, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
go continue, finish. I can
I'm
wait
just
my
saying,
second
I
there.
do like the way it ended there. I wasn't super happy about it until she says, like, I need to go so you can go fight. I don't want you to, you have to do this revolution. Now we know obviously what happens, spoiler alert, the Death Star, right? They get the plans
Yes.
and eventually Luke Skywalker blows up the Death Star. Um, Perhaps aided by the Force, the
Yeah.
missile. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yes.
Which takes away a little bit from all of this, which is one thing that I'm watching, and I wanted to ask you, Ando. I know this is a sidetrack, okay? I know it's a sidetrack, but I need to sidetrack us for a second. The fact that this show very rarely, if ever, mentions Jedi, the Force, they only mention Emperor Palpatine, I think, in her speech, right? Like they don't say
They've
Palpatine a lot.
He's the head Empire guy, not Ben Mendelsohn, but the other head guy that's working with what's her name, has mentioned his name a few times.
The Empire, but I mean the other
Yeah.
people,
Oh
right?
yeah, the other
Yeah.
people know.
Yes. Okay. So, but that it's like power, right? Like you don't
Yep.
say Voldemort or whatever,
Yeah.
but it also keeps the audience. It's in your mind only, right? Like they don't have to recreate that for you.
Hmm.
But essentially, I love this show and I love Andor, and I know it's about revolution, and he's going to do the revolution and the people and all that kind of stuff. But in the end, the reason why the Emperor and the Empire falls is because Luke Skywalker is a fucking Jedi and he has magical superpowers. it doesn't really have that much to do. His support structure that helped him is there, but in the end, it's kind of the magic Jedi powers that did it.
I mean,
Like, am I wrong?
maybe the ones that actually pushed that final button was because of that. But you still had to get to that point. You still have to have people to build on it. That's like I said
Yeah,
I've been
you're right. You're right.
well, I've been talking to my wife a lot about this show 'cause she also loves this show. And like one of the things we were talking about, she's like, I love that there's no real Skywalkers in this really at all. And like they did mention the Force a little bit with the Force healing people in the one of the in
Actually,
this
you're
block,
right. You're right.
but they weren't Jedi. They were kind of like the blind guy in Rogue One, where there's like Force sensitive, where they can
And
kind
he
of use it a
bagged it
little.
off. He was like, "This
Yeah,
is like astrology or some bullshit." You know what
yeah,
I'm
and
saying?
like the analogy I talked to her was like it's like if so like before this Star Wars was like if you're talking about the about World War II and somebody just says, oh, it was all about Hitler. Yes, that's saying it's like all about Darth Vader. There's so many other things when you think about World War II. You got the
That's
Japanese
true.
side or stuff going on in all these different places.
Yeah,
So I like that we're seeing a different play. If it's truly a Star Wars, I like that we're seeing some other sides to that and what happened. Because like even though Luke destroyed the Death Star, if they didn't have the Death Star plans, they wouldn't have destroyed the Death Star in this case. So that's
right.
part of why I like that. That's basically what this is leading up to. Is the guy that then the guy and like they even mention it a little bit after he rescues Mon Mothma in this one and she gets carted off by the other people and like well you're not going to be the ones that present her because we need somebody bigger to do this and some so it's like Andor they're showing the people behind the people to make succeed. I think that's what I love about
Okay.
this show, if that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense, and I get that, and you're absolutely right. I guess it's just that in order to, it's such a stark delineation
Oh, for sure.
between the your silly Jedi religion, or what that guy
Yeah.
says, and what we're seeing here. But it'd be great. See, that's why Han Solo was like the melding of those two viewpoints
Hmm.
so perfectly.
Yep.
And I don't know, man. I love Star Wars, but they are kind of caught in a circle. This is fantastic. I love it. And I love the way it ended with the and that's going to be meaningful, that droid, in ways that
Oh,
maybe
for
we
sure.
don't understand, right? And then I
Yeah.
see, I haven't rewatched. I told you, once I heard this was coming out, I said I'm not rewatching Rogue One until it's over. So there's certain things I don't remember
Mm.
that I because I
I
wanted to be re-surprised by it.
I knew going in that Alan Tudyk, he's the guy who does the voice of that droid. I knew he was in the cast for this season, and that was one of my favorite parts of Rogue One is what happens with that droid and his whole character. Like it's the
I
first
don't
time
even remember.
it's
Sick.
I loved
Okay,
loved
cool.
love what happens with him. So I am greatly looking forward to seeing that whole next sequence of events just to see what happens with that droid because I love. As soon as you watch the movie, you're gonna be like, oh yes, I remember why this droid is great. I mean, it's maybe my favorite droid in all of Star Wars. That's how much I loved it in Rogue One. Yes,
My favorite
maybe
droid is 2X Solo. It was do you remember that droid? 2X Solo?
I, I do not.
It's a nice one. It's a good droid.
I was gonna say when we were talking about the character arc with Bix, and like I was saying, how some of it is maybe it's the way the story is structured, we don't know. And I was listening to Bubba and Catfish talk about these episodes this morning, and one of them brought up an interesting point too about how this show is really structured in a way we haven't ever seen really before. With it's almost like this season is basically you can watch all three episodes together as like almost a 2 hour movie and they're split
Yeah.
because and how it's and it, how it sometimes there seems like there's multiple season finales in one block and how just the structure itself is so different than anything else we've seen before. And I think that's
Yes.
interesting and how I'm not sure how well it's working like that yet. I think I like it, but I'm waiting to see how the whole thing finishes and how it sits with me. But just a very unusual structure doing the 3 episodes a week, but they all fit perfectly like you said, in that little pod together. So,
I really like it. And I think that for a person who is primarily a film director, it's helpful to do that.
Hmm.
And I think for this story, we needed to progress faster because the first season, and he still has a lot of the same, like, the story of a revolutionary is similar to the story of, like, I don't, like a believer or something, right? Like, you take one step forward, one step back. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to believe in yourself. You want to do it, but you have to do. I mean, it is an allegory for filmmaking as well. Solo and I have talked about this, where it's like you have to believe it more than anyone else, and
Yep.
there's literally other people around you going, "That's not reality, man. That's not the world that's happening. What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, you're fighting a losing cause. You're an idiot.
Uh-huh.
You're a moron. And you're like, no, I believe in this, you know? So they did that so much the first season that I like in this second season, it's more about action and the things he's doing and the things he sees happen. He's
Yeah.
a witness to
Yeah,
what
that's
happens.
I was reading an article about it and I hadn't thought about that, but on a lot of the stuff, you're right. He's watching the stuff happen.
Yes.
He's not as active as a participant as you would think.
That's his journey.
Yeah.
That's Andor's journey, right? He's
Hmm.
the reluctant revolutionary.
Yeah.
And
At
he,
least until he isn't, because once he gets,
yeah,
I know, like when you and Solo were talking about one day, and I chimed in on the chat and said the first scene in that Rogue One is him killing another rebel because he doesn't want to get caught. So it's like he obviously has to get to that point of being a ruthless badass, and
yeah,
it's his like evolution to get to that point. I don't, I just,
yep.
I still can't believe I'd love a Star Wars show this much. I didn't think it would be possible. So either way, I can't wait for the
Well,
next set of episodes.
I knew I would love it because I love Star Wars. You know what? I once wrote a song about Star Wars. Star Wars, those crazies. Star Wars, stay with me. Yeah, you love that, don't you? You know what, Ando? It's different. See, when I'm singing on the pod, so you gotta sing back at me one day, Ando. We gotta get you out of that
That'll
shell
be
that you're in.
That'll be when I've had when we're doing an evening pod and I've had a few adult beverages might be the
There
time that
you
that
go.
actually happens.
There you go. Oh God, I wish I could find the Can I Bill Murray's Star Wars? Maybe I could
Star
just
Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Yes, I
yeah,
can't remember all the rest of
Star
the.
Wars song lyrics so I can sing it out just in the future. They have it. Bill Murray's Oh Star Wars, nothing but Star
Yeah.
Wars. Give me those Star Wars. Don't let
Yes.
them end. Oh,
Yeah.
Star Wars. If they should bar wars, please let these Star Wars stay. Oh God, Bill Murray is one of a fucking kind, man.
National treasure.
What a freaking weirdo. I love him. I love him. Wait, what's going on? I'm trying to share our thing to our Facebook group, but I don't know how to do it. That we're chatting. I want to share it to a group, and then we should start talking about Last of Us.
Yeah,
We
for
flipped it
sure.
this week. This week we flipped it. But yeah,
I don't.
Andor. I'm super excited just to end it up on Andor. The
Yeah,
next three is obviously going to be where they finally mention the Death Star itself, which I
and
don't has it been mentioned in the show?
well, we've seen it a little bit. Like it was a stinger in season one where you kind of see them building it, and you see like blueprints and stuff in the background. Before I forget too, I should mention one thing because we mainly just talked about episode eight. Episode nine was also amazing. It was the Mon Mothma speech and the
Yeah,
all the stuff in the Senate was
yeah.
so that
Politics.
Claire turned to me and she's like, "This is what the prequel should have been." She's like, "Because she watched it before I did. She couldn't sleep one night,
Yeah.
and she watched it like 3 in the morning. And she's like, I watched it till 4 in the morning, and I had to be at work at 5. And she's like, why couldn't all that Senate stuff be that? It's proof it can be done. Why wasn't that stuff in the prequels that was so freaking boring?" She's like,
It's,
they made it exciting, and I was like, absolutely right. So
the real question, Ando, is why isn't Claire on this podcast right now
I know I
telling
keep
us about this? She's absolutely right.
yeah.
She is absolutely right. Nothing to add. Perfect statement.
And the reason she's not on is because she's actually working right now, while you and I are just talking about movies. So
Star Wars, stay
yes.
with me. Um, Thank you, Claire. That's a great point, and it can be compelling. And this was very compelling, and the speech was awesome, and the way that they used the Senate's bylaws to allow her
Hmm.
to speak, and
It was,
it's
man,
always it's always that fucking Nazi shit when you're reminded of the banality of evil, that they still maintain this Senate too,
yeah,
which is the crazy thing to think about,
yeah,
is that it's still that why is it even there, right? Like this is one of the things that I think a lot of people, the timeline, it's a blessing and it's a curse, as they say, that Star Wars has such a deep mythology and the three BBY and the before Yavin and all this shit. But it can be very confusing to imagine that all of this is happening and it's a year before Rogue One
yep.
happens, right?
Which is just minutes before Star Wars: A New Hope starts, or the original Star Wars movie starts. So we're Rogue One, like directly leads into that. So we're only a year and a half away from them blowing up Alderaan and what we know.
Yeah. And then why we think when Luke Skywalker is on Tatooine, he's
Hmm.
like, I want to fight the Empire. I want, you know what I'm saying? Like, why that is even a thing when
Hmm.
everyone on Gorman is like, oh, the Empire's going to fuck us over? We
Yeah.
had no idea. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So the line there is really both chilling, historically accurate, but very well put together.
Yeah.
But it does take some mind manipulation as a fan to kind of get that, you
Well,
know?
and to put all the pieces together in your head, or because
Ah,
like I was just thinking about it too, that Senate scene, that's probably the last time the Senate exists. Because in Star Wars, when they're doing the round table of all the old European actors and Darth Vader talking, and one of them says the Emperor had the Senate dissolved or had them liquidated or something, basically
right.
meaning that the Senate was destroyed. We hadn't seen this, but we hadn't seen the Senate when we saw
Yeah.
that movie. So it's yeah, it can be there's so much mythology there.
But,
It's twisted.
but this is the thing, though. This is the thing, though. Where it, at this same time, when Princess Leia where is she during all of this is one thing I want to know because it's confusing to me, right?
Well, that
And
is if you well, this exact moment in time we don't know because it's still a couple years. But in Rogue One, it is mentioned where what she's doing. You
what is
maybe
she
just
doing?
well, do you remember? You remember the end of Rogue One? Don't you? The very end.
No, no. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go. Okay, I
Okay.
have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna watch Rogue One.
And there's
Literally the day after, I'm gonna these
yes,
episodes. The next episodes drop like tomorrow, and
yes.
I will watch those, and then I'm gonna watch Rogue One, and then we're gonna do a
It
podcast on
it
it.
is mentioned in Rogue One. It's mentioned where she
Okay,
is.
this is we'll get into this next time then.
Yes.
When it's all over,
Yes.
we'll get into it
Yes.
because that whole Senate thing and
Hmm.
the the Jimmy Smits of it
Yeah.
is still, because I thought they dissolved it, but then I thought it still somehow was either it
Well,
was.
and okay, you know that Jimmy Smits and Benjamin Bratt are playing the same character,
Yes,
right?
I
Okay.
know, right. That's why I
Okay.
meant the Jimmy Smits
Yeah.
of it all, because
Yep.
it's also Benjamin Bratt,
Yeah.
who was, by the way, Jimmy Smits wish he looked like that when he was younger.
Doesn't everybody wish they looked like Benjamin Bratt? The
Like
man
when
is
they
just
said
too
to
damn
Jimmy
handsome.
Smits, by the way, we're recasting a younger you as Benjamin Bratt, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm good with that, buddy.
Yeah. I could buy that. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I'm good with that." I went from character actor guy to like leading man looks. I'm cool.
Yes.
I mean, I love Jimmy Smits, Dexter. I mean, God, he was so fucking good in Dexter, man. I
NYPD
think he's my
Blue.
favorite. Yes. Oh, so much great
Yeah.
stuff in his whole career. I
West
just,
Wing.
yeah. Oh God. Oh
Actually, that's what that Senate scene, some of that's the way that was, a lot of that actually reminded me of the West Wing, where they make something extremely boring, just very
yeah.
captivating to watch.
I really like it. It is
Hmm.
captivating. All right, we'll get into all that stuff later. We've
Yes.
chatted for about a half hour now. Let's get into, which is awesome. Andor deserves it. Also, one shout out before we go. Um, I think I shared it to our Facebook page, but I may not have. Go look up, just Google. Everybody, you have Google, you can do it yourself. Google Andor Season 2 locations, and you will be amazed because the level, I can only compare them to Christopher Nolan level locations in this season of this show.
Hmm.
The Senate building, the Gorman, they chose so many wonderful real locations, and that last they used, I think it was the Spanish, it's a Spanish museum or library
Hmm.
that they're running out of when he's escaping with Mon Mothma.
I think they
And
used some of the same places Westworld did too. And some of those later seasons, like with
I think you're right.
the weird things that
Yes.
were shaped like this.
Yep. I
I mean,
think
they
you're right.
added some things in it, so it doesn't, it's not exactly so. Yeah, the locations are amazing.
Oh yeah, when they pull back out, you can
Yeah,
tell, a little CGI over here, but this is real. But when he's
yeah,
running, that thing is real.
yeah.
And you can see the locations, and it's like, wow, man,
It makes a
that's why
difference. It definitely
it
makes a
totally makes
difference.
a difference.
Yep.
And that's why international locations in films are so important. And when we talk about like runaway production and Hollywood and stuff like that, that's traditionally always been a part of American films, which is
Hmm.
going to other countries, shooting, exposing the world to amazing locations. That's been something that Hollywood films have done for 100 years. And it has benefited all of the earth. People get to see amazing locations that they didn't even know existed because Hollywood is crazy and spends bazillion amounts of money to get a good actor, of
It's
course.
and you know another show that also has some amazing locations that they use quite a bit of. It aired last night. Maybe we should talk about that show.
Let's do it. I believe it's called 90 Day Fiance. What an
Finally,
episode. So Sarper
finally.
had his comedy routine.
And
You
I'm done. See you later.
Oh, wait. You mean The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a show, dude. Wow. Okay, first off, I want to say, Andy, it has been brought to my attention. I had no idea. I didn't know. Because I don't read anything about this show. Because I don't want to be spoiled on the differences in the video game and the show. And also, previous to that, just because there was the huge, all spoilers for Last of Us, by the way, if you're not caught up, the Joel
Spoilers on
thing
the TV show, not on the
on the
video
TV,
game.
maybe a little bit on the video
Okay,
game.
maybe a little bit, but
I'll try. But uh, I did not realize that our main actress, Bella Ramsey, actor, I just did it, actor Bella Ramsey is non binary and, and has asked to be use non gendered pronouns like they. Okay. So we will do our bestest from going forward to honor that. An actor is non gendered and they. So that is the way I believe they would like to be spoken of. I was told this by a couple of different people, and it came to my attention when I was reading an article. And Gina, when we were talking about the show last week, was using they. And then I just said, okay, I'm just going to do it, right? Because if that's perhaps I don't know, I'd rather
yeah.
err on the side of being a nice human. And it turns out that that is correct. So we're going to do our best. If we mess up, we mean no disrespect. We're old white guys, and we're trying. Right,
Yeah.
that's all we can do, man.
Well, and the character I think is still seen as just regular woman or whatever you want to call it, I
As
think,
she,
right? Or a
I
she.
I do believe that they do right. They do refer to Ellie as she, though in the show itself, Ellie does refer to themselves as I'm going to be a dad, right?
No, that's true. That's
So
true.
it
Yeah.
could be inferred that in this world, they may not have time for her
Yeah.
to correct people because they're trying to kill her,
Yeah. Something tells me that's not
right?
a, they don't sit around and talk about that kind of stuff. They've got bigger problems to deal with.
Well, I think within the confines of Jackson, they would. And if she said
Well,
that
that's
to
true.
people, they would do that, right?
That's true. Because I guess that
Yeah,
when the one guy sees the two of them dancing at the bar and, or at that thing at earlier
exactly.
and yells at him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's meaningful in any way, you know? I mean, I wouldn't want to be called her. If someone came on our podcast and kept saying, you know, she is not really doing a good job as host.
Yeah.
Are you talking about me? I'm a male. I identify as male. That's all, right? To me, it always comes down. This stuff is not political to me. It's human. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with politics. Like if a person says to me, "Hi, my name is John," I don't call them Steve. That's just who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah. Oh,
gonna,
for sure. I
if a
call people
person,
what they want to be called. I don't,
exactly,
it doesn't matter to me.
it's their life.
Yep.
Especially too because my name is actually not Axel, as you well know. It's Billy. I have no problem saying it, but people started calling me Axel, right? So
I don't think I even knew your name, real name was Billy for quite a few years after I first, well, definitely when I first heard you podcasting. But I bet it's been
yeah.
a couple years even after I got to know you a little bit. So,
So anyway, what an episode. I don't know. I read some people. We haven't talked. I think I talked to Gina and Solo about this. I don't think we've talked in a couple weeks, Ando, because you were out fucking
yeah,
seeding the earth.
we talked the week after episode 2. So I think we talked the week after episode 3.
Really? Was it after
Yep.
episode? Oh, and then
Because it was episode 2 was the big time battle and all that stuff where Joel dies is episode 2,
oh,
right?
okay.
And
Yes.
then we talk like the Monday after the next episode, after episode
Oh,
3.
okay. Okay. So I think the show's been doing great without Joel. How about you?
Uh, that doesn't bother me at all. I have some
Really?
minor complaints where I thought
Okay.
it's, but the Joel of it all, like even I think I even mentioned when the last time we talked about it, it was like Joel was never the draw of this show to me, and I mean I love Pedro Pascal, but I never thought he was like the reason to watch this show. If that makes sense. So I didn't him being gone doesn't really bother me. I like I say the other little complaint. I don't even call them complaints, but the other issues I have it really has nothing to do with him not being there or the actors or the acting in general. That is not really
Okay.
an issue for me. So.
Okay. Oh, I want to hear it, Ando. Get into it, baby. I love this. Is a great. We got a
Well,
debate going on here.
I think because I remember the last time we talked, I remember saying episode 2 for me was like I thought it had completely turned a page like when Game of Thrones took it up to the Game of the Thrones, Game of Thrones took it up to like when that took it to the next level of this supreme confidence and just they know exactly what they're
Yeah.
doing,
Yep.
and I thought that was going on in that episode too. And then since then, it's kind of it's fallen into some of the same things that I thought it did in the first season, where I think it's good, but I don't think it's great.
Okay.
And I don't, it's hard to put a finger on it. Like some of the stuff is getting a little too, especially I noticed it a lot in this episode and part of last episode, getting a little too much like watching somebody play a video game in a lot of ways, if that makes sense. And
Oh,
I
that's
don't I
interesting.
don't know how to explain like specifically it wasn't it last week where they're in like the subway cars was it the or the train cars or subway cars whatever they were when
Yes.
Dina and that felt very much that way and then in this episode and like well I have to triangulate the position and then they kind of sit and break for a little while and then they go through the hospital and they're going through all these different levels and all of a sudden these new challenges arrive and I'm like oh
Yeah.
there's a
Oh,
checkpoint and I'm
okay.
like I'm not
Okay.
and it's the first time. I mean, I realize it's based on a video game, so part of that's the source material.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it feels a little too much like. Whereas that episode 2, even though looking back at it, there's a ton of video game style things that happen, but it never felt that way to me. If that makes
Mm.
sense. So that
No, it does make sense to me.
that's
Yeah.
and like I said, not really my complaints, but just kind of like it's just not quite hitting as good as it was earlier. I still am enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. Still think it's good
Okay.
and high quality, and say I still like the acting and everything else. And there was still like I love the end of this, like when Ellie just loses it on Nora and just starts torturing her the same way that the same way that Joel was tortured and just some of that and just how brutal it was. I'm like, I shouldn't say I enjoyed that, but I was like, this is some, you
Her
know,
eyes changed,
yeah,
man.
the character
Their
development
eyes,
was,
yeah.
and I loved the added lore of the fungus is going airborne and all that. I kind of assumed that was going to happen at some point. And oh, the last time we talked was that episode where they was it I can't remember who it was. Was it Ellie and her team or the when they wiped out that religious group? And I said, what's refreshing about this is it's a post-apocalyptic and there's not going to be a religious group. I should have known that group was coming back at some point, but so I kind of laughed at myself when that came back. But I actually did think that was pretty brutal and visceral and
And no,
different.
you ain't never gonna. It doesn't matter if it's
Yeah,
pre,
I
post, or
know.
during the apocalypse.
I know.
There's gonna be some crazy religious motherfuckers going around killing people for
Yeah,
God.
I know,
That's
I know.
that's
Nice.
that's
And I like the way they did it in this one. It seemed different than the stuff that's been in The Walking Dead or some of those other type of apocalyptic shows. So they were scary and kind of in an others kind of way before we knew what the others were in Lost. It reminded me a lot of that, the scene in the were they in a graveyard or a park or
a
wherever they were?
park. Yeah, they
Park,
called it
yeah.
a park. But I
But it
loved. I yeah. I don't know, man. I understand where you're coming from, and I'll tell you, Andy, this was the game. I said it last week too,
hmm
that the first couple episodes were not didn't feel like the game to me so much, even though a lot of the stuff was from the game. And these two really felt like it, but I loved it. I loved it. I was on an adventure.
Yeah.
I was worried about them. I'm worried about Dina. She's pregnant, right? I'm worried about Ellie, right? We've seen her growth and everything, and right? I and then I love the fact that they brought up, what the fuck are we doing here? You're
Yeah.
pregnant. Go home.
hmm
I'll take you home and I'll come back and I'll do this myself. That's exactly what I said last week. They have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And they did. I love this show, dude. I love this show because it has become for me like a pure character adventure story. And I think that Bella Ramsey is captivating. Just captivate. Anything they do, I will watch.
Yeah,
The
I
emotion, the
it's
action, the anger in the eyes, like I am in on this show. I do agree with the whole triangulation, and there's the ex Dina delivering the exposition was a little not great, little CW-ish at times. Okay, I'm sorry, I did feel like it was the 100 a little bit,
well,
which
so
was a
see,
fun show,
I
but
love all the actors. I love the cast. I don't, and I just can't place my finger on
no, that
what.
was the writing for me. I don't
Yeah,
think it was
okay,
the actress. That was
okay,
the
yeah.
writing for me. It was, but there's one shot where it is a when they're just walking down the street and it's a wide shot and it has a tree in the foreground and in the background the street just goes on and it's very green and lush,
hmm
and they go from black. I like the way they do that in this show because they do that in the video game too. That's from the video game where they fade to black
Oh, yep,
a lot. That happens in
yep.
the game. You're playing and
Okay.
then all of a sudden it'll fade to black or something, right? Like I love it. God, I need to play that game again. And it's one of my favorite things in all of film to do. Gives me the little chillies just thinking about it because I fucking love this. And I did. Did I get a chance to do it in Smokers? I think I did, but I don't know. Mike may have edited this part out, where you start with a establishing shot, which what looks like an establishing shot, and then your characters walk into the frame.
Oh, yeah.
Woody Allen did it all the time. Kubrick did
hmm
it all the time, and
hmm
they do it. They have the wide shot of the car, and then Ellie and Dina walk into the frame,
Yeah.
and then they walk under the frame. I can't remember
hmm
which one it was. That was exactly from the video game, dude. Like, I mean, that shot was taken exactly from the
Okay.
game.
I know there's been a few because
It,
every once in a while I'll
yeah,
see on my timeline, well,
there's a
somebody will have a
bunch
side
of
by
them.
side of it. Yeah.
And every time it happens, I'm like, wow. And the way the moss particularly grows is
Oh,
everyone in the game recognizes that.
I loved all of that stuff, all the stuff with
Yeah.
the fungus growing on the walls, and like when she goes into
And
that sub basement. I mean the set design, all that was
that was
awesome. That's
so
my favorite stuff
cool.
of the show for sure.
And wasn't it so cool, Ando, that there were people watching it who didn't realize that she was breathing in the spores the whole time and it would kill anyone else until she finds her at the end of the hallway and she's like, "We're breathing the spores."
I
And
guess
then
I kind of thought that was obvious because at least on my TV when I was watching it here, I could see things floating in the air.
I think it was obvious to you because you're a smart
Well,
guy and you're watching the show.
right, I watch
But
TV in a little different way than most
yeah,
non-podcasters
and
do, I guess.
I'm not trying to
Yeah,
say
for
there's
sure.
some but like, I think that there were a lot of people watching who
Hmm.
it took them a second to realize, oh shit,
What
she
was
should be
going on?
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she should be dead. She shouldn't even be able to walk down this hallway,
Hmm.
until she gets to, I don't remember the character's name,
I think it's
the
Nora.
Nora, right? Nora. Now I remember from the game, Nora. Um, that she's like, we should, I'll breathe, all that kind of stuff, and that we're also seeing the thing when the zombies like breathe out and they go,
Yeah.
we're seeing what's to come of the evolution that they've been talking about. And
And
we saw this scene before where they said, don't go to B2, or right. Like, that was
there
awesome.
was something in the
I loved it.
did you happen to watch the post after the episode thing
No,
with
no.
Craig Mazin?
That's why I'm trying to stay away from, I didn't know anything
Well,
about. I,
this isn't a spoiler. This is just him
yeah,
talking about the episode, and he said those zombies in particular. He's like, we wanted to make it seem even, and I didn't think about. I think I realized this in my head, but didn't until he verbalized it and said that part of what makes them so horrifying is they're still alive. Some of them been down there for years. They're breathing in
yeah.
air and breathing out spores every time. So it's like the most painful thing in the world. And they know they even realize what's happening to them and they can't do anything to stop it. I was like,
They're being
man,
used
yeah. Oh.
by the fungus to
Hmm.
spread itself in a new way, but also it's like a science experiment, because if those things start walking around and then they're around a corner and they go,
Hmm.
bah,
Yep.
they can infect you. You know what I
It's
mean?
been
Like,
weaponized in a way that it never has been
so
before. Yeah.
fucking cool. But that's the way nature works, man.
Uh-huh.
That's why that's why COVID confounded so many unscientific people. They
Yeah.
couldn't understand.
Well,
Wait, we
just
should know exactly what to do. Wait, masks do what? Dude, we're trying our best. Nobody
just
knows this.
diseases or viruses in
Yeah.
general, they're always mutating and always,
Oh
and
my
that's,
God.
I kind of assumed, I didn't know it was going to be airborne, but I assumed it was going to mutate at some point into something different because
Yeah.
that's what it needs to do. I think that's what elevates this over The Walking Dead. I don't think did The Walking Dead, I don't think it ever really mutated after the original mutation, did it? Maybe a
It
little
did.
bit.
It did.
I just can't remember, it's been so long. I hate to trash Walking
Um,
Dead all the time, but
in the later episodes, I think actually the season with Norman Reedus in France, when they
okay,
did his
yeah, I
whole
never watched
show,
that. Yeah, the Daryl Dixon show, yeah.
yeah, he is rescuing a girl who is immune.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they kind of,
I didn't even know that show took place in France. Wow.
yeah. And I'm not going to say they ripped off The Last of Us, because, first of all, that's an age-old story for as long
Yeah.
as
Oh, for
disease
sure.
story,
For sure.
Age of Men, all that kind of shit,
Yep.
right? Like, we've seen it before. Um, they did get a little bit more, and the zombies did change. A Walking Dead expert would know, but not to
Yeah.
this level and with not the rapidity. Obviously, we're only in season 2,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Jesus, in season 2 of The Walking Dead, we were on the fucking farm, remember?
Uh-huh.
With Shane.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Shane was right. If you go
Yeah.
back and watch
John Bernthal. God
John
dang. Yeah.
Bernthal, if you
Yes.
go back and watch season 1 and 2 of The Walking
I
Dead,
love the first few seasons of Walking Dead. The first two, three seasons, maybe even four. I loved them.
but in retrospect, if Shane had taken over their group,
Hmm.
they would have probably had a town in like a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Except they picked Rick,
Yep.
the dickhead,
Rick
Carl, to be their leader,
Rick
right?
was a bad that, and one of the other, speaking
Shit.
of characters and zombie shows with children, that was the other thing Mason talked about in that posting that I was a parallel that I didn't quite catch, but he said the doctor that lost her son in the basement. She said she basically made the choice that Joel wouldn't make,
Oh,
sacrificing the child. He's like, I wanted to show the opposite side of the choice of Joel, not Joel going to save it, and he should have just let Ellie die for the sake of humanity. She basically sacrificed her own son, knew not to go trying to rescue him because it would mean death for everyone. I thought that
well,
was an interesting parallel as well.
now to further that, the part in the show when Nora tells Ellie
Oh,
what Joel did and that that's Abby's dad and that he was a doctor and
uh-huh.
that he destroyed any chance of saving humanity. And then Ellie looks at her with those eyes and says, I know, I know what Joel did. Now, we talked about this previously.
That seems like a lie, doesn't it? Or is it not?
I don't think so. This is what I'm
Okay.
saying. And I don't remember this from the game. To be quite honest with you, I think they may have changed this.
Okay.
I don't think in the game she I I can't remember. My inkling is that she doesn't find out until later, but this might be later. I don't know. I don't remember. The game is very long. The first game is I remember everything. The second game I don't remember a lot at all, as I've said. But
Well, and
anyway,
I'm
long story short, I think
I'm guessing we're gonna find that out anyways.
yeah.
I mean, with the
But in
last
the
scene of this
show,
episode, but
it makes sense though in the show, doesn't it? Because
yeah.
we talked about our friend John Locke on our Facebook page, and a lot of people after the first episode was like, "What the fuck is she so upset about? Like this is past
Yeah.
a teenager being a jerk,
Yeah,
right?"
we knew there has to be more of that coming as to why she was
Right.
acting that way. There has to be.
Yes, and this makes total sense that she knew Joel killed all these people to choose basically his daughter, his replacement daughter.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what the anger is about, right? Because not being allowed to be her or they own person. And that I think has a lot of resonance. And if they do end up tying that in to the show some way or her sexual identity, I think that could be very meaningful because in essence, that's like when you're young and your parents make a decision for you
Mm-hmm.
that without asking you and you're like, what
Mm-hmm.
the fuck? Like I
Mm-hmm.
thought you trusted me. I thought I was old enough now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that anger was about, I
Yeah.
think. I
The
think
the betrayal, or the
yeah.
maybe not even the actual betrayal, but they thought they thought they were betrayed.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I have an inkling in my mind, but I can't remember if this is a theory or something that's gonna happen, so I'll keep my
It's
mouth
okay.
shut. But I hope we find out the circumstances in which this information is revealed. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to tie into the therapist's husband and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
that's right. I forgot about Catherine O'Hara. We got to see more of her at some
Remember,
point
Joel
this
had to
season.
take out her husband. We later find
Yeah.
out he was a firefly,
Yep.
so that
And
was very powerful.
I know there's only I think two episodes left. I need to see more Caitlin Deaver as well. I thought I think
No,
her
maybe I think there's
character.
only one. Isn't there only 6 episodes or
I
is there
think there
seven?
I think there's seven. I'm
Okay,
not.
somebody, who's Googling it? Me or you? You have a
I
quieter keyboard.
I got it.
You got you're like a Google master. Look at that. Andy's going to come up with a song called Andy's Googling.
Yeah,
Andy's
there we go.
Googling on the pod, finding out info we didn't know. Andy's Googling on
Yeah,
the pod.
seven episodes. So yeah, there's two more episodes. So
Nice. My wife will be happy about that because when I told her there was six, she was like, no. But they're
the
already shooting the next season, right? Like, so the next season I think is going to come out pretty
did they
quick.
I saw a renewal came through a couple weeks ago. I don't know, did they actually start shooting? I mean, everybody knew it was going to
Renewal,
be
yeah.
renewed.
I think they. I was under the impression that they were doing either the seasons back to back at the same time, or that I maybe I'm wrong. but I thought that is one thing that I did see a headline of. Like, you're not going to have to wait so long for, or maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe I'm
There
just
is,
used to that happening.
there is one thing that I was, I think it might have been when you were talking about it with Solo one of those times. The actress that plays Dina, I think you guys had mentioned
Yeah.
she was also Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
And do you know what else she was in last summer?
What?
Alien Romulus. And
Really?
she was also a pregnant woman, and that ended poorly. I have a bad feeling this isn't going to end it for her well either.
I don't remember, man. I really don't remember.
Well,
I
and
wish I did.
after I saw, because after this episode, I'm like, I think that's the same girl from Romulus. And I looked it up and it was. And
He was good.
it even says, I saw an interview with Fede Alvarez, the director of Alien Romulus, that said he cast her in that because he was inspired by her Last of Us character, Dina. And then she ended up
Did
being
she
casted
play?
as Dina as well.
Oh, did she play Dean in the video
I
game?
don't think so. No, he said he was inspired by that character in Aliens was inspired by the character of Dina in the video
Oh,
game.
oh, 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 oh,
And now
oh.
Isabella Merced has been cast in both roles.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just I
I
have a
love
bad
that
feeling.
name. I love that. I've always loved that. Merced to me is such a beautiful. I really have always loved that last name. I don't know why. There's certain names like what's that name that Stephen King uses all the time? It's a very ethnic name, like Eastern European. He always use I can't remember, but it's someone in Derry. There's a family in Derry that has this last name, but I don't know. Anyway, Stephen King is good in picking last names too. There's certain last names that I've always liked. Merced is one of those. I knew someone growing up who had that last name.
Oh, we have some comments on the Facebook page.
Oh, wow.
Uh, Connor Williams says yes, there is 7 episodes, and he said he thinks it's in the writing and pre-production stage, but not actively shooting.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Connor. I like that name too.
And we also have a message from a
Subscribe,
Mr.
Connor.
Heath Solo, and he said he'll be here in 10.
Oh, be here in 10. When was that message sent?
Um,
10 minutes ago?
two, two, 2 minutes ago.
Okay, because I've kept up the participants thing on Zoom the entire time.
Yes.
So that's why I didn't even look at the YouTube because
And we
I'm
currently have five
keeping
people
it.
watching us, so hello to the five
Oh,
people.
hi, 5 people. Yeah, I love that last name. I'm trying to think of the Stephen King last name that I.
I can't remember. I haven't been checked into the King world in a little while. I'm a little
Well, I
rusty.
well Underwood is a great Stephen King name,
Oh,
which
well,
comes from the
yeah.
typewriter as well, right? His
But I
father's
think I
original
think there's only one
typewriter.
Underwood though, isn't there?
Isn't it Frank? Was it Frank
Larry
Underwood? Larry? No,
from the
there's more.
stand.
Yeah, but I thought there was another. Wait, was Frank his brother that he talks about? I thought there was a Frank Underwood.
Isn't that from isn't that Kevin Spacey in House of Cards?
Maybe it is
Yes, it
Francis.
is. It is.
Yes. I love that name Underwood. That is a cool name because it sounds a little like death, right? Like Underwood
Yeah.
coffin, like Underwood. Um, no, but I can't. If you looked up just famous Stephen King last names in books,
Yeah.
he picks great. I don't know why
Yeah,
I'm down this
Larry
road.
Underwood. Larry Underwood is the guy
Okay,
that is the
okay.
singer in the stand. Baby, can you
Yeah,
dig your
yeah,
man?
yeah,
And that
yeah,
whole.
yeah. Oh man, the stand. Anyway, to get back to this episode, I re I like that that things are happening fast, but I think some of the video game stuff you're talking about, Andy, is like this. She runs away, she runs into the scars, she just conveniently says to Jesse, take the pregnant lady, right? He runs
Yeah.
off. First of all, Jesse appears out of nowhere and takes out like 30. They all just run away when he shoots the big gun. Okay, a little
Well,
bit,
and
right?
I think some of it was even the way some of it was shot, and I can't think of what is it. I can't remember what the style of shooting is, but what it's called on a video game. But like when they walk into when they see when they encounter the smart zombies again, and they walk in and it's kind of like an over the shoulder shot and you see them
Yes.
and then like a light shines over here and one pops up
Yeah.
and then the light shines here another one, like it's like it just felt very much
It
like I was
goes
watching
into
a
like
video game.
first person. Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes from
That
third
was
to
the
first.
times when I was noticing it. I'm like,
Okay.
this seems it
See,
pulled
I
me out
don't
just a
like
little
that.
bit.
I get it. I get it. I thought some of the happenstance was what might have done it because
Okay.
she gets out from the scars, she sees something, she goes towards it, she is like looks up and it's the hospital, right?
Yeah.
And then
It was kind of a
also
combination of those
yeah,
kind of those two things.
it
So,
takes her as soon as you saw Nora, why
mhm.
it's the old adage, if you're at a sink washing your hands in a movie or something and it goes from a wide shot to a close up, someone is coming up behind
Yeah.
them or
Oh,
you're going to hear
for
a
yep,
voice.
for sure.
So, but
100%.
I don't know, I just there's something about the quality of this, there's something about the world that they've created, and for me the death of Joel adds a legitimacy to the show
Yeah, I think
that
that was absolutely I think that was a
yeah,
very interesting choice. It made it way more interesting. It gives stakes to the show that didn't really
that's
have it at that
crazy.
point.
And you know what, dude? They are too loud. They're teens. She shouldn't be getting on stage and doing like that. She shouldn't be yelling across an auditorium, "Hey, you
Not
found the triangulation!" Like,
yeah, not just loud, cocky, and
yeah,
naive. I mean, that's what teenagers are. That's for
it's
that stuff doesn't bother me at all. That's part of what kids are like.
well, we're and you see what it got them into
Hmm.
because Jesse was right. You know, Ellie says, we could have what, and he's like, you had time to do what, or I don't remember. He kind of claps back at her. He's like, I saved you, would have been dead, you both would have been dead, you should.
Yeah.
And she even says, let's go do something stupid, or let's go do something unadvised. I can't remember what they say, but so that I like that. I don't know, I love
And
this show, I
like I
wish
said,
it was more.
it's not making me say it's not good. It's just keeping it from like a B or a B plus,
Okay,
keeping it from moving into the A range for me, at
I
least right
dig it,
now.
I dig it. I would like to see the scope get and I think it will too. We haven't seen Tommy in a while. I
Yeah.
hope that we see Tommy again. I'm just really enjoying the adventure that this show is on. And I like I said last time I was talking with Solo, or I think Gina maybe. I think they're doing a better job of incorporating the emotional and perhaps well, some may call it political or whatever, but the ideas that they kind of feel this show stands for and what it's really about, I think that they are doing a better job of communicating it through the action and motion of the characters and the plot
Hmm.
instead of giving us an, a kind of, even though it was beautiful and I loved it, the after school special episode with Ron Swanson and his husband.
I
It
still love
was,
that episode.
I love it. It was beautiful, but
The
it was like, I was kind of like, this was my journey here. I like I like the propulsive moving
there's
forward.
a there's a couple actually there's a couple more comments from Connor that actually kind of lead
Okay.
kind of down that same road. He says, I think the first season, well, actually, the first thing he says is Bachman, if that's the name you were thinking of,
Oh,
but
well, the
Stephen King's
Bachman
pen name.
books. Yeah, that
Um,
was, but
but he also says, I think that the first season elevated the game by delving more into the thematic sinew of the story, whereas season two seems to be very much plot focused, point A to B story. I'm still enjoying it overall, but I wish there was some more conceptual episodes like 1-3.
see, and you know what? That is okay that he disagrees with me, but for me, I guess I was looking for the opposite. Like I don't know. I like the kind of Lord of the Rings journey. Like I
Hmm.
like the Bilbo and Frodo of it all at this point. I really that's why I kind of feel like they're Bilbo and Frodo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except instead of trying to toss the
Well,
ring
there's
into the fire, they're trying to toss Abby into it.
yeah, there's a lot of Lord of the Rings or The Stand, like I brought up earlier. A lot of
Yeah,
those that journey
I
across the
dig it.
country, definite thing with encountering different people. Like I said, I still am enjoying it. It's just not. I guess after episode two, I got my hopes up very very high. I'm like, oh shit, now it's on, and then it kind of dialed it back, and I was fine with it right away. Still fine with it, but I was hopefully it'll ramp up a little more in the last two episodes that I'll go back to where I was.
Mm, yeah. Well, it's going to continue, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll keep on going. I'm loving it. I'm looking forward. I know. I'm glad there's two more episodes. That makes me happy.
Yes.
Ando, we might end this podcast, but not end the YouTube stream. Chat a little bit, and then do a quick, like, 5-minute intro pod for Duster. Are you down with that?
I think I am because I think yeah, I think let's do that.
Let's do it. Okay. So, everybody who is listening, thank you for listening. We took the time today to talk about The Last of Us as well as Andor. You can check us out at dvrpodcast.com. Thank you to all our patrons at patreon.com/dvr. Thank you to those in the YouTube chat like Connor. Dude, love that you're giving us feedback. Thank you so much. Subscribe, join our Facebook group. We'll keep the conversation going. We're live 2 or 3 times a week. Last week I did a great show with an old friend of mine, Dr. Aaron Brennan, where we talked about the mental health implications and analogies and metaphors and all that such of the Thunderbolts, the Marvel movie. That was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
I haven't watched that or listened to that pod yet because I'm
It
waiting
was
till I see the
emotional.
movie. I'm gonna wait till I see the actual movie before I
Oh,
listen to
yes,
the
full
pod.
spoilers. You have to wait
Yes.
until you see the movie. Okay.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We love you. Peace out. All right, Ando.
Okay, yeah.
We are
I
now YouTube only before we
okay. So
start.
yeah, Solo needed the link. I texted I forwarded him the
Oh,
link. So
oh
he should
wait.
have it.
So Solo is going to join us for the Duster. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
Ah, take a little YouTube stretch.
Yep, exactly right.
Oh, left. Oh, right. Left. Okay, I'm going through old Stephen King last names. It's
Yeah,
Stephen King's characters. Okay.
I googled it, and the names that all came up are all like not one time guys, but people
Well,
that
I'll tell you what one is great. It is
Denborough,
Defrizane, Andy Defrizane from The Shawshank.
Dufresne,
Yeah, Dufresne,
Dufresne.
if that's how you
Yep,
say it, from The
yep, that's how you say
Shawshank.
it.
I
Yep.
love that name. There was another name that is a name of a street around here
I
that
think he
he.
uses Denborough in quite a few, like Bill Denborough. I think he
I
uses him
like
in a couple
that.
different names. And what was the other one? There was another one that I did see that what the heck was the other one?
I don't know what name I was thinking of. Stephen King characters. Oh, these are all like main characters, though.
You can check the waiting room.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh,
Oh, there he
ladies,
is.
get funky. Who's in the house? Solo. Oh,
Run's house.
Solo. What up, buddy?
What's up, Podcast Nation?
We're chilling.
Yeah, so glad you're here.
Hey, I had to drive like Michael Douglas in Basic Instinct to get here at this time. You like that, Andrew?
Perfect. Yes, that's a great reference.
I don't know why, but I'm just thinking of Sharon Stone opening her
Yeah,
legs and closing them again. That's all
that's
I can
Many
think
people
Sharon's.
of.
do.
That's all I can think of. Solo, is that what you're doing right now and we can't see it? Imagine if Solo had like high heels and a skirt on underneath. Like all of a
I,
sudden the camera went down and it was like,
all
whoa.
the all of a sudden I'm not thinking of Sharon Stone anymore.
Oh,
I'm a little
okay.
horrified.
Yeah,
Well, Brett can send you some pictures later.
Red
All
already
right.
did.
Oh,
I'll be
whoa.
right. I'll be
It's
right back. I'm sorry.
all right.
Sharon Stone's on the other
Well,
line.
this is total chill mode YouTube style. We're chilling, we're talking. I'm gonna bring up some Duster stuff
Yeah.
because
Why
I
don't
had done
keep
a
talking
little
for a few
reading.
minutes? I'll be right back.
Whoa, everyone's leaving. Did you already? Are we
Well, we're
live?
talking.
Yeah,
We
live on
are live
YouTube.
on
Yes.
YouTube. Yep.
Oh, we're live.
We're live on YouTube, but we are not live. We are not at this point have a podcast on.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Um, so it is just us on YouTube chatting away. Got a couple. I think Connor's still in the chat. We got 7 people watching. All right, that's nice. I like that. This
Cool.
is a little we're going to do a little Duster preview.
All right.
I wanted to try. I think there was an article I read. Duster Max Solo.
Yes, sir.
Did you like the last episode of The Last of Us?
I did a lot, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
We
enjoyed it.
just finished talking about it.
Yeah, I was listening a little bit while I was in the John.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a little, people still call it that, maybe in the 70s. But yeah, no, I loved I am surprised every episode without Pedro that I'm still so invested in the show. It is just I'm invested in Ellie and Dina. We heard Tommy, but we haven't seen Tommy in a while. I need some
Right.
Tommy in my life. But I really am enjoying the Seattle stuff. Of course, I'm like, here we go again. We're getting another music video. But she stopped
Yeah,
playing. I was like, thank you.
me too. I
Thank you.
was like, yes, you can't do that 2 episodes in a row.
Was she gonna play in the Living Daylights by Aha, the
Oh
Bond
my
theme?
God. What was the song that she started to sing?
I don't know.
I don't know what it was either. It was definitely, she did
Ando,
start to
Google
sing a
that.
song. Said if I ever was it the
Was it Led
was it
Zeppelin?
no,
If
I think
I
it might have been
stay
the
here
Beach
tonight.
Boys.
Oh, really?
God only knows what I'd be without you. I think she was,
Oh,
isn't that the first? If
oh
I should
yeah.
ever leave, if you should ever leave me, blah blah blah. So what? Then leave me,
You
right? Go on
could
with
be
that. Yeah,
happy.
yeah.
Something like that.
Yes, I think that was what it
Oh, Pet
was.
Sounds,
Yeah.
maybe.
God, what a
Uh,
God
gem,
only knows
Brian
how
Wilson.
I
Maybe I'm
feel
wrong.
without you.
what AI tells me is she sings one unmistakable line, "If I ever were to lose you."
Okay.
It's the first line of Pearl Jam's song "Future Days."
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus, I should have known that, but
Come on,
I
Solo.
didn't
okay.
remember what she said.
PJ, Pearl Jam,
Dude,
and it's
I
a
think
present
solo
tense was
favorite.
that the
I think
Oh, I
didn't they
know.
don't they play it over the end credits? I think they do.
Present tense they do, not future
Oh,
days.
Oh, you
okay,
know
different
what?
song.
Grandpa
Okay.
I
James
think
may have posted that on our Facebook page. I
Yep,
think he
I
posted
think you did
something
too.
on it.
it's too bad because present tense, the Pearl Jam song, is slow and then it goes into like really
Yeah. Oh, I
fast.
love that song,
And
man.
the credits only played the beginning part. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
I was singing it. I was singing it. I actually watched the whole credits because I was singing the song. And actually, they're coming out. I got an email from PearlJam.com. They're doing a special record, Last of Us Pearl Jam, of
Yeah.
the 4 songs
Mm.
that have been on. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
But
Eddie Vedder is a national hero, man.
dude, he's my god.
Gosh, I can still remember I was in high school. Okay. Um, and this kid came up to me. He had his Walkman on. Okay. It was like I graduated in 92. So this was what, maybe 90 or 91. And he had his Walkman on and it was really loud. And I heard it. And I was like, what's that, dude? And he pops the cassette out and it says Pearl Jam on it. And he goes, "It's this band Pearl Jam. My brother gave this to me. He dubbed it for me. It wasn't right." And I was like, "Pearl Jam." And then I didn't hear. And then I was like up late at night, and I saw the video for I think Even Flow, right, on like 120 minutes or something.
Hmm.
And I was like, "That's the band!" And I went immediately the next day. Just seeing Eddie Vedder with the fucking shorts, with the cutoff shorts
Yeah.
and the flannel hanging on with the hair. I was like, I want to be that, man. That's me, dude. I was like, that's what I want to be. And I was like, I was a flannel guy from, you man, I was such a grunge fucker, dude. Ripped clothes.
Doc Martens.
Oh,
Did you have
totally.
Doc? I
100%. I used to I used to dress just like that, dude, with like the
Yeah.
cut off shorts, the Doc Martens with black socks, and like a flannel and a ripped t-shirt underneath it.
Yeah.
My hair was super
Axel
long,
Cornell.
and I had a goatee. I had no
Oh,
beard. I
I
had a
would have had
goatee.
sex with you back then, I think. That's hot.
You wouldn't have been the only one, my friend.
Whoa! Kid show.
Yeah, no, oh, you know me. I'm a lover. I was never
No, I know. I'm
never a
just,
debutante.
you know, I had a dream last night and
Oh,
it
okay.
was a nightmare and you were in it, Axel.
Holy shit, what happened?
It was awful. It was like one of the worst dreams I ever had. I was like locked in this maze in this mansion and I'm trying to get out. And then I quit the podcast. I told you, I go, I'm done. I'm done podcasting. And I jumped. I don't know what happened after that.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't, and I was like, woke up. I goes, Axel mad at me? And I'm like, oh no, that was the dream. But I literally, it was so vivid. I thought I was done with the podcast and I jumped somewhere in some clouds. I don't know, off this mansion. I
Well,
don't
I
know.
just want to tell you that we love you and we do not want you to jump or quit the
Okay.
podcast.
That's it, Axel. We're taking the film list to the ringer. Sorry.
Now, we were joking about this the other day in
Oh,
the text chain, if you remember. There was a certain mention of quitting the podcast.
maybe that stuck
So
in my.
it may be residual text.
Oh, yeah, yeah. See, our text chain,
Yeah.
it
Oh man,
it
you
it
kidding me?
seeps into our
Uh-huh.
surrogate.
Dude,
Yeah, it does.
3 of my all-time worst nightmares are about Brett's pools. I mean, that's,
Well, I'm a living nightmare of Brett's
you know.
pools.
Well,
I
his F1 pool, I don't even know. I didn't even know I was in it, and I joined it. No, I'm just kidding.
I finished last in hockey. I was awful.
I gotta update
I
that
was
Brett pool.
Ooh.
terrible. I went all in on the
Um,
Bruins.
oh gosh,
Yeah,
I
that was
really wish
stupid.
I could watch hockey. I used to love going to hockey games, man.
Well, live, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the best, if not, it could be the best sport live, to be honest.
It definitely is the best, most improved over seeing it on TV.
Well, ever since HD, man,
Yep.
ever since HD. I mean, I could follow it fine. I know some people. I remember, Fox did the glowing
The
puck,
glowing puck, yep.
I love
which,
that.
of
I loved
course.
it. I wish they'd do it again. I can't see the puck.
Oh,
I can't see it. Even on my big ass TV. You guys have been to my house. I cannot see the puck. I have trouble. But the thing is that if you watch for long enough, you can see the puck. See, I think a lot of times you guys can't see it either. You just know what it looks like when a player is near the puck. You get the
the
flow
camera
of the
works so
game.
good that because
Yeah.
sometimes I can't see if it went in the net. And
Yeah.
then I get the reaction or the light goes on. I'm like, oh, goal, or the announcer. That is a little tough for me. But yeah, I guess I'm so used to following the game the way they shoot it that, yeah, I may not see
And
the puck every time, but I can.
it's
It's
more
I,
like
so when you watch it for a lot, you get into the rhythm of watching it. You
that's what
know
it
where
is.
to look. You
yeah.
know
It's
where to
like
look. So yeah.
it's like a magnet on the bottom of a sheet or something like that.
Hmm.
Or it's like gravity. All the players get pulled towards the puck. So you see they lean into it. They moved, right? Like so when I say I can't see the puck, I'm kind of joking. You can
But I understand what you're saying because
I'm gonna
that's a
get there.
great point though, Axel, that we may not see the puck, but we know
Yeah.
where it is,
Hmm.
the vicinity because of the great camera work and HD and everything. But
But then
And
again, hey,
you really have to watch it to. I mean, if you
yeah,
just turn it on for 10 minutes, it's hard to say.
you gotta get
Just
into
the
it.
repetition of watching it trains your eyes where to look on the screen. I think it's just a big part of it.
But see, I'm trained that way in football. I don't really see the ball, but I can tell when it's a handed off to the running
But
back.
football's a lot
Put it,
slower. That's a lot. It moves a lot slower
That's
than
true.
guys
That's
on
true.
skates. Those guys
That's
are
true.
yeah.
flying around fast.
Oh man, I could not. Hockey's crazy,
I mean,
man.
when basketball had the tight shorts, I was concentrating on that, not the
I
ball.
know.
I
That's
was concentrating on two balls.
that's a
All the
different kind of
balls.
problem. Solo. I
Two
love
ball,
how we do
two
like a
balls Jones.
PG-13 show. As soon as Solo gets here, it's a hard R.
It is me, isn't it?
You're not Disney material, Solo.
Yeah, because Axel's PG-13 with his F bombs. I come in and then I go with the freaking
You take
sexual
it to
content, and the
You're
sexual
bringing up the
situation.
incest. You're going deep, Solo. You're
Hey,
GOT
It's
right away.
I'm evil.
it's after dark with Solo, no matter what
After
time of
dark,
day.
after
But
dark
listen,
in the afternoon.
Ando, do you need to? Do you want us to jump into this Duster thing? Because
Sure.
or
Yeah,
Solo?
I still got probably another half hour here, so
Okay. I'm free, so I'm just you guys. But we can. I just hit record. We can jump into it. I'm trying to think. We're just calling the show Duster by Daily DVR. Subscribe. Eight
Is that what?
episodes. And
8 episodes.
we came up with something, Solo, while we were talking before,
Oh, I like it.
that for Duster, Ando could do the same thing he does for the film list, where I say today we're covering ep- um I'll just say season 1, episode 2 of Duster, and then Ando will be like, today's title is blah blah, and then it was shot here, the director is here,
Okay,
our guest stars are this person and this person, right? Like
I like that.
any little stats or info that he can find out about it.
Hmm.
This song used in the show, if you recognize it, was this, and we
Future
kind of
Days by Pearl Jam. Yeah,
there we
okay.
go.
I
And then
like
we
it.
have the kind of right, and then we can just kind of do what we normally do, is just kind of talk about the show and the characters and everything.
Yeah, and the flow, we'll figure out the flow too, because we're not sure exactly how the episode is going to be structured. I
mhm.
mean, we don't traditionally do recaps, of course. That's not our thing. We're more lost mythos, 10 topics. Wake up, a hustler. Ooh, I feel like I'm in Peru.
You'll have to go
Feels
back
better to
and you'll
stretch
have to
it.
go back and listen to it, Solo, because Axel did a lot of singing for you today
I did.
when
I
we
Oh,
sang
he
a
talked.
lot
did.
for
Oh,
you.
I'm excited.
I think I sang a song about you too.
Yep.
Oh,
And
oh
you
my
sang
God.
multiple songs about Star Wars.
I sang the Bill Murray famous Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I
Yeah.
looked up the lyrics. It was beautiful. All right, let's jump into. Let me get um, let me get all the series. Ando, do you want to do that for this, or do you want me to do that?
Why don't you do that for this?
Okay, because I was just going to read from like Wikipedia,
Yeah,
and
because I
then
don't
we'll
really
just
have a whole
chat a
lot
little
of.
bit. Okay, yeah, we only have to do like literally, guys. If this is 3 minutes long, I'm fine with that. It's just some audio to put up there to introduce people.
Yeah,
I
just an
might even
intro
take
pod.
it down after the first episode.
Okay, someone's definitely listening to us or YouTube because I just got a notification, Future Days Pearl Jam, like video to check out.
Wow.
Huh.
I think it was Connor. Connor did that.
Like it was Connor.
Our newest fan. All right, here we go, ladies and gents.
All right.
Welcome, everyone, to Duster, a podcast brought to you by the DVR Podcast Network. We're going to be covering all 8 episodes of HBO's newest show, Duster, an upcoming American crime thriller series created by J.J. Abrams and Latoya Morgan, starring Josh Holloway, Rachel Hilson, and Keith David. First episode is coming out May 15th. That's this Thursday. This is just a quick little podcast to introduce you to us at the DVR Podcast Network. You can check us out at dvrpodcast.com. Subscribe to this feed. You can also subscribe to Daily DVR, where all of our podcasts, it's the main feed for all our podcasts. But this one is Duster. And joining me, I'm Axel, along with you on this journey is Heath Solo. Heath, how are you doing?
I'm was left in the dust and just chilling at an old gas station. And I don't even know if that's relevant to the show, but I feel like we're gonna see an old
It
gas
is.
station in the middle of nowhere. But no, I'm great. Our boy Josh Holloway is back, baby. After hopefully will be getting some I think Yellowstone did him wrong.
It did. It did. He
And
should have
so
taken
I'm
over the series.
yeah, he should have been not a bad guy. He should have been a new ranch hand and would have been like Rip's cousin or something, or just got out of the prison, and he should have been our hero.
Just got out of the prison.
The prison. Yes, the prison where they pick up ranch hands.
All right. Well, we're ready to talk Duster. We also have our main man Ando here. How you doing, Andy?
I am great. And I didn't realize, I never finished Yellowstone. I didn't realize Josh Holloway was in Yellowstone. That's how little I've
Yeah.
seen. So I'm also excited about Josh Holloway, a Josh Holloway show because of Lost, obviously, one of the people from Lost. And I've always thought was going to be one of the big breakout stars. Hopefully, this is the show that does it for him. So, and plus, just talking to you guys every week is going to be a blast as always. So I'm excited to cover this show. I haven't watched any trailers. I know it has Josh Holloway driving I think a driver of some kind, driving around a DUSTER, obviously. Otherwise, I know nothing else about this show besides a few stills I've seen. So I'm kind of going in blind. I'm excited.
All right. Well, we're not going to go too deep. This is really just a quick episode to get the feed up, get people subscribed. We're going to be going deep into each episode, hopefully taking your feedback. Email us at dvrpodcast@gmail.com. But I will give you a brief breakdown. I did read an article at Esquire, so we can chat a little bit about that, and then we'll be out. But the series is set in the Southwest in 1972. It is a period piece following the FBI's first black woman agent, who is Rachel Hilson, working to stop a crime syndicate led by Keith David with the assistance of a talented getaway driver. That's our man, Josh Holloway. Now, supposedly, the idea of the show came from J.J. Abrams himself. Us Lost fans, we go back to Lost. If you're listening to us for the first time, we've been doing this for almost 20 years. We started podcasts about Lost in like, what, 2007, 2008, Solo?
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, so we call him J.J. Abramson.
No, we
Um,
don't. We call him JJ Abraham. No, not son. Abraham. What is his name? JJ Abrams. We call him
we do
Abrahams
this
because our
every
boy
time.
Elton. But Abraham's son has become,
I added the sun just to make it more
well,
ridiculous.
if you were on the set of Shogun at your
Yeah,
house,
that's
that
true.
would make more
The
sense.
Japans.
The
Um,
Japans.
okay, so supposedly there J.J. Abrams had an image. It all started, and I love this. This is really cool. That there was a phone booth, an old phone booth in the desert, and that a guy drives a car and he picks up the phone, and that's like the only way people can get in touch with him. And he had these ideas. Who's the man? Who's calling him? What's the car? And this became the show where
Wow.
Josh Holloway is basically like a getaway driver, a guy who has his ins into this world. And this FBI agent is using him to kind of get into it. How? I don't know. I've watched some of the trailers. I know there's a mystery about his brother. So there also has been hints that J.J. Abrams has said he feels like there's some Alias vibes to this show. So maybe there's a larger mystery at work here that we're trying to discover. But the trailer doesn't give too much of that. But did you watch the trailer, Solo?
I did. And I've mentioned this before because it has the 70s feel, it has that quarry feel, that show with
Quarry was awesome.
yeah.
Sunday. Wasn't that Sundance Channel or something? Or
I
was
thought
that
no,
AMC?
I thought it was Cinemax, but I could be
Oh,
wrong.
really?
Well, we'll
Oh,
find
well,
that
yeah,
out.
you can hear me typing it.
I just
Was
want to know
2016.
if he drives by like does how often does he drive by the phone to answer the call? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, he's like, it's a Sunday. Maybe I should do a few laps just in case someone calls me. But
That's the mystery, bro.
It was on Cinemax Solo. You were right.
It was on Cinemax. Yep. I like it. All right.
I'll have
Yeah,
to
it
check
does
that
have that
out.
feel to it.
Logan Marshall Green, I believe, is the
Yep.
lead's name. I love that dude.
Yeah, me
Oh
too.
yeah.
Me too. That is the American Tom Hardy.
That's
Yeah, it
that's right.
is. Oh
The
my God, it
yeah.
totally is.
Yeah. The Walmart Tom Hardy sometimes he's been referred to too, I think.
Really? The
You know,
Walmart Tom Hardy?
I gotta tell you something crazy
He
here.
was in
Not
Prometheus, wasn't he? Logan Marshall
Yes.
Green?
yes, he
Yeah.
Yeah.
was. It was great.
And a great
I
movie, The Invitation.
Mm.
High on
oh,
the film list, a podcast we do. If those you don't know, I count down my 1,000 favorite films of all time. And
film
Axel,
list. If
you
you
got a
got a
list?
list, send it to us at the
Yeah,
film list at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
So I love the vibe too. The car is awesome. The way it's shot, the music. I've heard that there's a lot of great action scenes in this series, that it really is an action show. So that's exciting for me too. I think it's going to be just a blast to cover. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? We don't have too much, we don't have to get too much more into it. But Ando?
I did notice this is a Max original, not an HBO show, which I thought was interesting. There's not that many Max originals, like specifically just on Max. I don't think this is airing on HBO at all. So, but
That's
a lot of
interesting.
a lot of the Max shows
Oh,
are actually. I'm looking at the list. They haven't produced that many, but even though I haven't seen The Pit, that was a Max original, and a lot of people love The Pit. But Tokyo Vice, Station 11, Raised by Wolves, those are all excellent shows. So my hopes for this are pretty high because I think they can tend to let creators do what they want on some of these Max shows. I think that's a good sign.
yeah, and we've been hearing about this show in development for a while now, at least a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know with the strike or COVID if it got pushed. One or both is very possible. But I'm just excited it's coming out. And I just love shows with that 70s feel.
Me
I
too.
just, even though I was a baby at the second part of the 70s, I just my nostalgia, sorry, Axel,
It's
um,
okay.
of the 70s just really because I start thinking of remember that film, was it Vanishing Point?
Yeah.
Yep.
The old car and
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
oh,
classic.
classic, yeah. It's funny
It's
because
awesome.
a long time ago we did with Mr. Bill and one of his buddies.
Oh, God, Mr. Bill. I
We
haven't
did
thought about him
a
forever.
late night Friday double feature pod that unfortunately the recording got corrupted and it never aired. But we talked about Bullet, Steve McQueen, and Vanishing Point. But I came prepared for that Dennis Quaid, Matthew Fox movie, Vantage Point. I think it was called.
Oh my God.
So I had no idea. I'm like Vanishing Point.
It's a very
So
different movie. But I
Yeah,
like
yes,
that Vantage Point. I kind of like that movie.
yeah,
That's
it was all
funny.
right. Yeah.
yeah. It was
Wow.
good. It was
Yeah,
good.
it has this show looks like it's going to have a great vibe. It looks like it has a great cast, music, everything. We're going to have a blast covering it. I don't think we need to do much more, guys, unless anyone else had anything else they want to say about Duster.
I have one other question to ask you guys, and I
Oh,
think I already
cool.
know Axel's answer, but this is
Okay.
Bad Robot, and Bad Robot shows are known for having more than meets the eye. I mean, just looking at some of their other shows, besides Alias or Lost or Fringe or Westworld was a Bad Robot show. Solo, do you think there's going to be more than meets the eye here, or is it just going to be a 70s cool driving action show?
It's J.J. Abrams or J.J. Abrahamson
Yeah.
or J.J. Abrahams. However you like to call them, those are the three choices. And they'll be called that way throughout the Duster podcast.
And beyond.
No, I'm actually looking at a photo right now of the hunk Josh Holloway at the
The
phone
hair is
booth.
awesome. It's so
Dude,
it's like flat ironed. I
he's
love
just
it.
one sexy
Look, can I get
man.
my hair like that,
I was
guys?
gonna
Like,
say,
look,
with the hair you got going now,
look,
Solo or Folo,
look.
not
Yeah,
Solo. Well, both of you guys,
I can
both of
grow
you
my
guys can pull
hair.
it off.
I don't. I choose
I'm
not to,
Duster. I'm
but I
Duster.
can
What's
grow
the
my
phone
hair like
call?
Duster.
Hello?
Oh,
Ready
this
to
you
take
look.
the
Oh
call.
my gosh, you look
Yeah,
like what is the
yeah.
what is the Saturday
It's
Night Live guy
crazy.
that was in?
Oh,
No,
you're
wait,
right. I do. I do.
is the
Are
Oh,
you
Saturday Night
Stefan?
Live guy? Yeah,
Stefan. Yeah.
yeah.
The club was terrible. All right, we're going to keep it on Duster. This has been a great introduction to us, though. I don't know how much of an
Well,
introduction to the show it is,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah.
you're going to be listening to us anyway. And they do say people listen to podcasts for the people, not particularly for the subject matter. But we hope you do like the subject matter because we will be going
Oh,
deep.
Greg Goonberg.
Oh yeah, of course. To answer your
yep.
question, Andy, I think so. I think
Yeah,
there's
I
going to
do too.
be some kind of either sci-fi or mystery or conspiracy,
Hmm.
government, something is going to be bigger than what we see right away. And I think Josh Holloway's the man for it, man. It's going to be great.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. We look forward to covering it, everyone. Thanks for listening to this little quick one if you did get through it. We're going to have a great time. We'll be here, I think, on Friday, right? In 4 short days, talking about the first episode. This podcast is going up today. It's Monday. Subscribe, leave us a comment. Can't wait for the show, whatever. We appreciate it. DVRpodcast.com, patreon.com/DVR. Peace out, everyone. Ando, any final words?
No, I no, I got nothing else.
All
Let's
right.
podcast about Duster this week.
Yeah.
Good night,
Solo.
Minka.
Bye, Minka. Yeah.
Oh, is it bye, Minka? It's not
Bye,
good night,
Minka.
Minka.
Yeah.
Welcome
Or
to East, Minka.
or even better, hi Minka.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right,
that would be
everybody.
better.
Peace out. All right, that was awesome, guys.
Perfect.
That's behind the scenes look on how you record an intro podcast to Duster.
People are going to be studying that for years.
Do you
For
like my
years.
dust off? Ultra duster?
Yeah,
I
I was
didn't see it.
laughing.
I was talking on it.
I had to mute myself because I was laughing out loud. So
Yeah.
I had no idea what you were holding up.
Well,
It's a
I have to
duster.
clean my DVD recorders.
Should we
So
all bring dusters? Like I have one of those little duster things.
I wish I could have a duster I squeeze and then Josh Holloway's
Oh
like
God,
says like something
that's
like new
hilarious.
sheriff in town, boys.
I mean, you could still do that. It's still Josh Holloway, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you
What
could.
was the thing that he said? It fun times over. It's
Fun
time.
times over, Mungo, once you hit the buffet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mongo.
where does
Yeah,
that
let's hit the
come from?
buffet.
He said it to Hurley,
Yeah, to
but I don't
Hurley. That's
remember
early.
when.
That's early in
Season
season
two.
one. One. Okay, I was
Oh,
thinking
maybe
one, but
it could be season one.
Does
one
he
or
say
two early.
Minga or Mingo or what is
Mongo.
Mongo?
Mongo.
What does
Fun
that
times over,
mean?
Mungo, once you hit the buffet. I'm doing it like I pressed
I
it.
love it, but I don't know what I've been
Is that
trying
a
to
reference
really
to Blazing
hear.
Saddles? Maybe Mongo is the guy who's in Blazing Saddles, the big dude that's played by the ex-football. What's the
Oh,
football
it's gotta
player?
be.
It's
I
got to
never
Yeah,
be
even
then. You figured it out.
that was what I was always assuming it was.
Lost. You gotta put in the YouTube Lost reveal
Oh my
secrets.
God.
Secret
Revealed.
lost, secrets revealed. Yes.
Sawyer line Blazing Saddles. Let's see if anyone else has ever figured this out.
Yeah,
Sawyer's
played by Alex
nickname.
Karras
Yes,
in Blazing
Lost
Saddles.
Lockdown. It says Sawyer's nicknames for Hurley: Mutton Chops and Mongo. Mongo was the huge moronic character played by Alex Karras in Blazing Saddles. Yep,
Webster's dad.
Yep.
that's it. You got it.
Look at
Oh,
that.
after
Lost
all
secrets
these
revealed.
years.
I
I
know.
finally, after all these years, talked Lost in a podcast with you guys.
Wow.
Wow. Look at
Fun
that.
time's over, Mongo. It's time to hit the buffet.
Oh, I always
Is
thought it was
that what he
what you hit
said?
the. Yeah, I guess. I always
No.
get things
What did you
wrong.
say?
I said fun times over, Mungo, once you hit the buffet.
What? Maybe that's what it is. Why don't you hit the buffet?
Oh, I could be wrong. But my memory and my
Well,
repetition.
listen, I did reach out to HBO Max or HBO, I don't know which one it was. I said, we're doing a podcast on Duster. They sent me some links to some stills, which were on the press page.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we'd love to do an interview or talk to anyone, production, whatever, right? Doesn't have to be the stars. They said, if anything comes up, we'll reach out to you.
So they haven't sent J.J. Abrams contact info yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But if they do, and we get Josh Holloway on this show, we are going to ask him about that. What the hell is Solo doing with his lips?
Oh, was I doing something?
He's thinking about talking to Josh Holloway, and it's
Are you
Well,
stoned?
because
did you take an edible before we started?
No, I haven't yet. It's too early for me, Polo.
Not for me.
2 more hours. No, because I went and saw him speak at his acting coach years ago. R. Devaney was his last name, and he had Josh Holloway, and I think they showed an episode or a clip from Lost to the end of season 5, and then they had a question and answer thing and stuff. He whizzed right by me going to the stage, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. But
how tall is he? I wonder.
I
How
don't
tall
know.
do you think he is? 6'2"?
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, is he that tall?
I think so. Maybe 6'1", but
I'm going to take a
Yeah,
guess.
6'1". Oh, yeah, I know what it is. So
What
take
is
a
it?
guess, Axel.
Well, I think you said 6'1".
Oh, yeah, 6'1". Yep, IMDb says 6'1 and a quarter.
That means he's probably about 6 foot tall. He's a little
and a
short.
quarter.
And a quarter. Yeah, that quarter is very
Yeah,
important.
quarter stays.
I like it. All right, Mongo.
All
All right, gentlemen.
All right. I'm glad at least I could.
You just jumped on. Do you want to talk some more, or what do you want to do? Because I mean, Ando and I have been chatting. Ando might need to go, but if you want to chat a little bit, I could chat with you about something. We're in the
Um,
you've been on for like a half hour or so.
yeah,
Yeah, we could.
I should probably get back to work.
Okay. All right.
Even though I do want to talk, but then I know I'll be pushing things that I need to do.
Life calls, baby.
What so,
But I'm keeping Friday open.
yeah, what
Nice.
can you guys go like a little bit late? Is it like 2 o'clock too late for you guys? What your time on
That's
Friday?
not too.
Not
I'm
for
fine
me.
with that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because I have a track and field day I have to go to for Lucas, but I should be back by like 3:30 my time, so that'd be 1:30. So we could do something by 2 Pacific. Should be just fine for me.
Okay, cool. Oh shit! I forgot my mic is all the way over here. Did I sound really low, Lando?
Well, I didn't
Yeah.
notice it till you move that other one closer. Now you sound a lot better.
Ah, shit! I had my mic in the wrong place.
It
Well,
didn't
my
sound
plan.
bad. I just didn't.
Okay,
I didn't
that's
notice
not
it
a
till you
little
moved it close.
because
Now
I
you
was
sound.
noticing you were sounding a little echoey. Can you go closer to your mic? Let me see how it sounds.
You talking to me?
Yeah, but wait, are you on your mic?
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, I'm not hearing it. You might be on your other thing. We're all our audio is off today. We didn't give Connor the best experience that he could have as an introduction to us.
Well, let me check my settings here. I know part of it. I probably sound off too. Like I said, I'm still kind of kicking a cold, so my throat is
No,
not
it sounds a little room tony.
roomy. Okay. Well, let me check my.
Yeah. Because if you get really close to your mic, does it get louder? Let me see.
Is this any better? How about
Uh,
this? I'm like almost licking the mic.
yeah, that
Whoa.
sounds better. Oh, whoa.
I said almost.
I thought Solo was bringing the R-rated stuff. All right, we'll figure it out later. Solo's got to go. You got to go. This has been a great YouTube. We love all of you. Thanks for watching.